I want to let you pick, Phil. Who do you want to talk to that we got on the lineup here?
Let's go with the JW. It's Julie on.
Let's go. Yeah, let's go to Julie here. Julie calling from Caldwell. I believe that's Idaho, right?
Oh, hello.
Hey, Julie, how's it going?
Oh, it's good to talk to you. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Absolutely. So I saw that our call screener said you wanted to talk about the differences between Jehovah's Witnesses and Buddhism, specifically on the afterlife.
Right. So I've been struggling. I've just found out that Jehovah's Witnesses are kind of a cultish. My whole family are apparently cultish. And so I'm just getting out of that structure. And I've been looking into other religions, and I came across Buddhism. So my big question is afterlife. I always thought it would be so great to be able to see, the family that passed away. And so I went from Jehovah's Witness to looking into Buddhism, and I would like to hear your ideas about afterlife.
Well, first of all, congratulations for getting out of the Jehovah's Witnesses. Like, that is an accomplishment within itself.
Well, Julie, are you out? Are you an active member of Jehovah's Witness or just your family?
My entire family is Jehovah's Witness, and I've been ostracized. And 1 year now, I am learning to live independently.
Yeah, there is a book out that's only a couple years old called How to Escape Jehovah's Witness, I believe it's called. You might want to check out that book because it has some ideas and strategies to try to make that a little less painful. That might be something that can help you.
Yes, like Lloyd Evans.
I'm very interested. Please tell me.
Yeah, Lloyd Evans, thank you. If you have a bookstore or an Amazon account, look up Lloyd Evans. And he was a Jehovah's Witness, and he's
been on this show, by the way. So you should check out that episode, too.
He got out the hard way, and he wrote a book about things that you can try to make life a little bit better, leaving or escaping Jehovah's Witnesses, and that might be something that could make your life a little bit better. So I would like to recommend that. Another thing that's just a personal interest to me, and I don't know if you ever heard of it, and you might want to look it up. Jehovah's Witness in the past used to have predictions of when the world was going to end. Are you aware of that?
Oh, I certainly am. I am a second generation, maybe third generation. Okay. So I'm aware of JW.
Have you ever heard of Come Alive in 75? I'll take that as a no. Back in 1974 and 75, they had an exact prediction for the end of the world. It was the very last time that they predicted a date specific, and the program was called Come Alive in 75. And after 1975 ended, it was the single biggest loss of membership in a generation because it obviously didn't end. But you might want to dig into that. But as far as afterlife, I'm not aware of any evidence that any particular religion has it right because no one really gets to go and come back and tell us what happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and for me, it's like I think of consciousness and I think of how I exist in the world as really a material thing. Like the way that I am and my livelihood is based on my body and how my mind is functioning, how my brain's functioning, how my body is functioning. So if I'm without the body, right, then it's almost like, well, what is the me? Because the me is kind of tied to the body in that sense. Like somebody who doesn't have brain activity, we call those people dead, and if they're going to another place, like are they replicating that brain activity? Is something else going on? That's kind of a replacement. Like what becomes them at that point? Because ultimately, it seems to me, I'm kind of tied down to this material body. So it's hard for me to imagine what an afterlife would be like. I will say, when I left my faith and the Christian religion, that was a tough pill for me to swallow. I remember the first time I came out on camera saying I was an atheist, it was with a follow-up video with Anthony Magnabosco, which is still on his channel, you can check out. I had nightmares that week that the world was ending and a bomb was going to go off and I could choose to ask for forgiveness or go to hell. And
That's rough, dude.
It was rough, but now looking back, I realized, wow, my belief was motivated by fear. And I'm sure that that's something that Jehovah's Witnesses probably put onto you. And I'm sure there's other people that experience that too. So if it's fear that's bothering you, which I don't know if it is, but maybe it sounds like it is. I just want to tell you, like, hey, you can get over it. Not everybody can fully get over it, I will admit, but there are paths, there are processes, there's people you can talk to. And I mean, just talking about it here, I'm sure can help, because being frank and being honest about it, for me, I know just really helps. So what do you think about that, Julie?
I really appreciate your input. That is just, I'm grateful. Well, that's kind of a weird word to use, but, I'm thankful.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I use blessed all the time because the meaning is significant to me. That means that I'm doing well and something good has happened to me, and I don't want any specific religion to own any particular words. I get to use whatever words I want to use. You get to use whatever words you want to use, and they can't take that away from you. They can't limit your vocabulary. Feel free to say whatever you want.
Yes.
Wow. That is, wow. Thank you so much.
You might also want to look online for ex-Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yes.
Just Google that. You might be able to find some online friends, maybe local friends, but maybe online friends where you can kind of share your stories with people that had similar experiences to you. And again, maybe you can help each other.
So Jehovah's Witnesses is pretty broad for abuse, huh?
That's what I understand from members and former members. I have a young friend that I met when I was in charge of a college group for non-believers, that he was an atheist, but everyone in his family knew him as a Jehovah's Witness because they were paying for school. They were helping him get through life. They actually didn't want him to go to university, so he was at a community college. But
Right.
He could not tell.
Life. I couldn't go to a good school. I was suppressed.
And that's a lot of that's the thing. A lot of people don't realize about Jehovah's Witnesses is that they do not encourage their followers to go to college.
Yep.
And they have their own kind of reasons for it, as I understand it. But really, the big thing is when you go to college, you learn stuff and you think about your beliefs. And that is a really great antidote against being a Jehovah's Witness in particular, I think, because they have particularly stringent beliefs and ones that can demonstrably can be false. As an example, of course, the prophecies that we were talking about. So, Julie, I'm glad. It sounds like you're feeling pretty empowered by what we're talking about here. So I'm with Phil here. You're blessed now because you're free and you can think about these things. And nobody has to tell you, how to think about this stuff, right?
Well, you have empowered me. The show, Atheist Experience, Secularity, I've been empowered by the shows. That's why I'm calling in tonight.
Oh, man.
And serious questions.
I'm just going to leave. This is the best call ever, Julie. Thank you so much.
You're the reason why I do what I do. Honestly, sacrificing my Friday night every single night, and the people in the production room, by the way, also doing this. Sometimes I'm like, man, I don't always want to do the show, but you know what? Calls like this, that's what makes it worth it. So thank you, Julie, for calling in. And honestly, if you want to call back,
thank you.
Yeah,
you bet.
Absolutely. Look, if you want to call back next week, or if you want to contact me, there's the camera for the crew in the back, by the way, the people who make this show, who are really great and really awesome. I'm going to give a couple more suggestions. If you like Discord, if you know what that is, maybe not, follow the link. Somebody will post it.
Not that technological.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some people in the chat, if you're watching this live, who can help you, and they can plug you into a community of people you can talk to, right now, right away. So that's one recommendation I have. Another thing is, hey, you can email me. It's truth@atheist-community.org. I'd be happy to talk to you more. But I'm sure there's other people in the chat right now who are probably sending you love right now who'd love to talk to you too. So you're not alone, and welcome to the other side. So
pleasure, Julie.
Man, Thank you so much. I'm so happy I called. Thank you.
Thank you,
I'm
Julie.
happy you called too, Julie. I'll talk to you next time. And gosh, just thanks again for calling.
I have a friend of mine, I guess, that she left Jehovah's Witness in her 50s, and now she's in her late 60s. And she was telling me a story one time where her husband would come home from work all mad and angry, and he'd walk around the house just like, I don't know, just angry and upset, just walking around the house. And he slowly took off one piece of clothing after another while she's sitting on the couch watching TV. And then he went into the kitchen and got a big knife. And he walks back into the living room and he's standing behind her. He's standing behind the couch. She's sitting on the couch. And he's got this big knife. And he says, "Someday I'm just going to kill you." And she told me that this happened over and over and over again. And after a while, she started to get worried. And I'm like, after a while?
Yeah, right?
I think when I hear the knives being rattled around in the kitchen, I'm out of there. But she was so conditioned that whatever her husband said was the right thing, no matter how crazy it was. If he wasn't happy, it was her fault for not making her happy. And for anyone that's listening, male or female, same-sex, different sex relationships, it's not your fault. If someone else that you're around is not happy, it's not your fault, and maybe you should seek some outside support. And if the person is abusing you verbally, physically, emotionally, psychologically, please get help.
Yes.
I beg you, because you deserve better. You do.
You know, we were talking earlier about reasons why people believe, and another thing is conditioning. I did not have the same conditioning Julie did growing up, and I'm sure if I did, I'd be a Jehovah's Witness. I don't know if today I would be, but at some point I would be too.
Yeah, I would have never stuck it out.
Yeah, well, it's like people's personalities can be taken advantage of.
Yeah,
and some people, that's something that they kind of align more with. And I personally didn't know a whole lot about Jehovah's Witnesses until I became an atheist and I learned more. And that's a particular belief system that's definitely primed for conditioning people to things that they would not normally believe.
Well, it's another thing that is very common and misunderstanding. I do not think that you're stupid if you're in a religion.
No, absolutely not.
I think you're mistaken. I think maybe you've been tricked. And I have been tricked. I have once or twice fallen for a scam or clicked on a link or paid money for something I thought I was getting and then I didn't get it. I have been tricked. I like to think that I'm smart and I know how shit works. And I've been tricked. I think you've been tricked, and I implore you to look at other sources of information, check out other religions, go to different services, look at the people that have the opposite opinion or people that have left your religion, which is why organizations like Jehovah's Witnesses, that good friend I was telling you about, she is no longer allowed to talk to her daughter and she can't see her grandchildren because they're not allowed to, because the absolute worst thing a religion can let you do is talk to somebody that has figured out that it's a bunch of crap.
Yep. Yeah, that excommunication in Jehovah's Witnesses is taken very seriously by a lot of its practitioners.
It's brutal and it's inhumane and it's wrong. And if your religion requires you to not to talk to people of other beliefs, your religion is sad, pathetic, and weak, and you need to leave just because of that.
Yeah. Bold words.
Yeah. How sad is your deity if he needs you to not be able to talk to other people? How sad is your deity if he needs you to shut people up and keep your word to be true? If there's a God, freaking do it yourself, lazy bastard.
Well, thank you for taking that very poignant point into something humorous. I agree with a lot of what you're saying there. Julie, again, glad that you're here. Love that you're here. Keep talking to us and talk to other people. Figure some stuff out and enjoy the